If you're thinking about leveling up your leg day at home, you're in the right place. Whether you're chasing quad definition, hamstring growth, or just want that satisfying burn without driving to the gym, a dedicated leg extension and curl machine is one of the smartest investments for your home setup. I've dug deep into the best options out there, and today I'm breaking down 7 machines that cover every budget, every space, and every training style. All the product links are in the description. Let's dive in. Starting things off with the RitFit PLC01, and honestly, this one punches way above its weight class. What makes it special is the cable-driven resistance system, which is a huge deal at this price point. Most budget machines use a simple lever that loses tension right when your muscles need it most, but the RitFit uses a pulley system that keeps constant tension throughout the entire range of motion. It feels remarkably smooth, almost like using a commercial machine at your local gym. It works with both 1-inch and 2-inch plates, so whatever you've got in your garage, you're good to go. One thing to keep in mind is it uses a 3:2 pulley ratio, meaning you need to load about 50% more plates to get the resistance you want. For most people, that's totally fine, but if you're moving seriously heavy weight, you might run out of room on the loading pin. The foam padding is also on the thinner side, so after months of heavy use, you might want to wrap the rollers with extra padding for comfort. But for anyone looking for a smooth, cable-driven experience without breaking the bank, the RitFit is an absolute no-brainer. Now, if you want to step into premium territory, the Mikolo Tower is where things get really exciting. This machine delivers a true 1-to-1 cable ratio, meaning every pound you load is exactly what you're lifting. No math, no guessing, no maxing out your weight horn trying to hit your target resistance. The build quality is seriously impressive, with heavy-gauge steel framing that supports up to 400 pounds of plates on top of a 400-pound user. But here's my favorite detail. The bench has an 18.5-degree ergonomic tilt specifically designed for prone leg curls. That precise angle puts your hips in slight flexion, which is exactly what you need to fully isolate your hamstrings without your lower back trying to take over. Compared to the RitFit, the difference in resistance feel is night and day. 90 pounds on the Towerette genuinely feels heavier and more targeted than 135 on machines with less efficient ratios. There's a tiny bit of play in the backrest during heavy curls, but flipping the stabilizing handles around and pulling yourself down into the pad completely solves it. If you're a serious lifter who wants commercial gym feel at home, this is your machine. Coming in at number 3, the Lionscool V4.0 is a machine that earned its reputation the hard way. Lionscool actually listened to every complaint from their earlier versions and engineered real solutions into this update. It matches the Towerette with a true 1-to-1 cable ratio, so your plate loading is perfectly efficient. The standout feature here is the 3-segment contoured support system for lying curls. Instead of a flat bench that lets your lower back arch and compensate, the Lionscool has step padding that matches the natural curve of your hips. That means better pelvic alignment, stricter hamstring isolation, and zero low back strain. The tool-free quick change pin is a game changer too. Picture this. You just finished a brutal set of quad extensions, your legs are on fire, and instead of fumbling with bolts, you pull one pin, flip into position, and you're immediately cranking out hamstring curls. For anyone who lives and dies by supersets, that speed matters. The weight horns can be a little noisy with iron plates since they lack rubber bushings, so grabbing a pair of tight collars is a smart move. But in terms of pure build quality and biomechanics, this thing is built to last decades. Shifting gears to something completely different, the Merach MR-P13 takes a unique approach. Instead of a cable system, it uses a rotary dial pivot mechanism with 24 distinct angle settings, and the whole unit weighs just 85 pounds. That makes it incredibly easy to move around, which is a massive win if you're working out in a shared space or a small apartment. Imagine finishing your leg workout, dropping the backrest flat, and suddenly you've got a perfectly functional bench for dumbbell presses or flies. You can even flip around and use it for seated back extensions. It's genuinely one of the most versatile pieces of equipment in this entire lineup. The rotary dial lets you set an incredibly deep starting stretch on your quads, which feels amazing for hypertrophy work. Now, because it's designed to be a multi-tool, it does make some trade-offs compared to dedicated machines like the Towerette or the Lionscool. There's a bit of lateral play in the lever arm under heavy loads, and the bench doesn't have that elevated hip contour you'd want for perfect prone curls. But if space is your #1 priority, the Merach delivers incredible value per square foot. At number 5, the Jelins J10 sits right in the ultra-budget sweet spot. It shares a lot of mechanical DNA with the RitFit, including the cable-driven system that smooths out the resistance curve, but it comes in at an even lower price. The H-shaped widened base gives it surprisingly good lateral stability for such a lightweight machine, and the footprint is one of the smallest on this list at just 46 by 29 inches. It's perfect for a college dorm or a tight basement corner. For lying curls, I definitely recommend placing a foam pad or yoga block under your hips to create proper pelvic tilt, since the bench is completely flat. The padding is on the thinner side, just like the RitFit, so wrapping the rollers with aftermarket padding makes a big difference for comfort during heavy sets. If you're just getting started with leg isolation work and want to keep your investment minimal, the Jelins gets the job done. Now, here's something truly unique. The GMWD LE03 is the only machine on this list with true independent split pads, meaning each leg works completely on its own. This is huge. On every other machine here, if your right quad is stronger than your left, it's quietly doing more work and you'd never know. The GMWD eliminates that entirely. Each leg has its own pivot point and its own loading post, supporting up to 350 pounds per side. And here's where it gets really cool for athletes. You can stand behind the machine and perform standing single-leg hamstring curls, which mimic the biomechanics of sprinting far more closely than any prone curl ever could. If you're rehabbing a knee injury, correcting a muscular imbalance, or training for any sport that involves running, this machine offers something no other option in this category can match. The trade-off is that the pendulum-style resistance does lose some tension at peak contraction compared to cable-driven machines, and taller users over 6'2" might need to experiment with backrest positions for proper knee alignment. But for targeted unilateral work, it's in a league of its own. Closing out the list with a beast, the Feierdun 4-in-1. This thing is built like a tank. We're talking 2x3-inch steel tubing, a 700-pound total capacity, and a massive base that makes wobbling physically impossible. If you've ever been annoyed by a machine rocking or shifting during a heavy set, the Feierdun is the answer to your frustration. It runs a true 1-to-1 cable ratio just like the Towerette and the Lionscool, and it includes something that's usually reserved for expensive commercial equipment: thigh restraint pads. Those pads lock you firmly into the seat during leg extensions, so your quads have absolutely nowhere to hide. Beyond extensions and curls, you can use it for glute hip thrusts and standing hamstring curls, which fully justifies the 4-in-1 name. The only real consideration is size. This is not a machine you tuck into a corner. It needs its own dedicated spot in your gym. But if you have the space and you want maximum stability with zero compromises, the Feierdun delivers. So let's wrap this up. If you want the best overall experience with commercial-level smoothness, the Mikolo Towerette is the one to beat. For high-intensity supersetting, the Lionscool V4.0 and its tool-free transitions are hard to top, correcting muscle imbalances or rehabbing an injury. The GMWD LE03 with its split pads is the clear choice. Working with limited space, the Merach MR-P13 doubles as a flat bench and tucks away easily. On a tight budget, the RitFit PLC01 gives you cable-driven quality at an entry-level price, with the Jelins J10 as an even more affordable alternative. And if you demand absolute rock-solid stability, the Feierdun 4-in-1 is your machine. Links to everything are in the description. If this helped you out, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.